Hello everyone, welcome to day 2 of UCS Virtual School webinar. If you enjoyed our talks yesterday, please don't forget to subscribe and give us a like. Today we are glad to kick off proceedings with Dr. Vincent Chian. He is one of the key members of the Kuala Lumpur campus, and he will be sharing with us on virtual school, promise and challenges. Over to you, Vincent.
Welcome to University College Fairview's webinar on virtual schools. Some form of virtual educational experience has taken place in almost every educational institution throughout the world. How has it helped us? What are the key challenges? And more importantly, what are the practical solutions? My name is Dr. Vincent Chian. I'm the principal at Fairview International School, Kuala Lumpur, and I'll be sharing you about some of our experiences and the promises and challenges of virtual schools. 2020 has meant that every school was forced to scramble to get online as COVID spread to our countries. The last 6 months has seen more technological development in education than the last 10 years put together. By now, educators across the world are beginning to realize 3 important things. 1. Technology can positively support the learning experience. 2. Technology won't replace the teacher. And 3. Technology supports the learning process and must be led by the pedagogy and not the other way around. The online classroom has made and delivered on many of its promises. Learners can learn from the convenience of their sofa without ever having to risk their health and safety. Media, by its very nature, is rich and filled with animation, diagrams, and simulations, all accessible 24/7. The virtual environment provides ample opportunities for our learners to develop critical technological skills essential for their future. And of course, develop those important self-disciplinary skills through the online experience. However, the transition has not been so smooth for all of us. The desire to return to the familiar face-to-face classroom, technical glitches, and new ways to misbehave all threaten the success of the virtual classroom. After all, one does not simply move a course online. An immense amount of time, training, effort, and resources are needed to make the virtual school a success. So here are the 4 top virtual school challenges we faced, and some practical ideas based on what worked for us. You know you've got an engagement problem when it starts getting really difficult to get answers out of your class. Here's 3 things that you can do to bring that spark back into your classroom. First, build a sense of ownership in your classroom. Now, this doesn't mean you get to go off saying threatening things like, take a sense of ownership or your future is going to be ruined. No. This is all about building them up with supportive words, nurturing a positive atmosphere in the classroom, and helping your learners believe in themselves again. Secondly, take an interest in your students. Find out what they like, what they don't like, what gets their passion, what gets their blood boiling. After all, if they don't believe that you are genuinely interested in them, more than a number on the report card, why would they be interested in anything you have to say? Thirdly, gamify your classroom experience. Now, gamification isn't about fancy gadgets or software. Gamification is about bringing back non-judgmental fun into your classroom. Things like competitions, role-playing, drama, overdone celebrations, fun. But remember, no amount of activity can ever bring back fun back into your classroom if the lead educator in that class can't role model the excitement by showing it first. The second major challenge is learner isolation. The fear of being alone is one of the worst fears to torment any individual. And unfortunately, many of our learners are forcibly separated alone because of lockdowns. To beat the isolation, build a culture of family and friendship. Most of us were never taught how to be a good family member or to be a good friend. At Fairview, we teach these explicitly, outright. We remind our students repeatedly that family means nobody gets left behind or forgotten. Next, build a buddy system. Now, buddies meet together online regularly. Give them activity sheets so they can find out more about each other and have a bit of fun. You can't keep an eye on all of your students all the time, but your buddies can. Finally, reach out to each student in your class over a period of a few weeks. Maybe a short call with each of them to check in on how they're doing, giving them the space to share any thought with you, no matter how trivial. If you're tied up for time, get your school counselor to help. The third major challenge is assignments. If not planned carefully, they can pile up and become a major source of stress. Here's 3 practical tips. 1. Make sure you have one consistent, easy to read, easy to understand location for all of your learners' homework and assignment needs. 2. Make sure that your homework is manageable. Now remember, not all of our learners have parents around to support them all the time. And giving them homework that is unmanageable, too complicated, will only diminish their self-confidence. Keep those complicated questions to class time when you can give them a hand. 3. Keep the total volume of homework under control. Now, the general guidelines out there say that learners should not have more than 10 minutes of homework per grade level per day. Now, this is a whole school issue, so some collaborative discussions are needed. But please try and get some guidelines up about all the homework your learners are going to receive so that we can make their time manageable. And finally, 4. Teach your learners self-management. At Fairview, we explicitly teach all of our learners about self-management skills. How to plan their day, setting up routines, schedules, priorities, and to-do lists. Most people do not know how to do these things, and you're going to need to teach your learners these things right from the basics. Finally, the last major challenge is stress. We see it in learners, parents, and students. There's a lot out there to search the internet for, but here's our top 3. Don't sweat the small stuff. A lot of this is new for all of us, and we're going to make mistakes. Be kind to ourselves by forgiving and letting go. Find a way to recharge yourselves every day. It could be going for a run, playing a musical instrument, or meditating. Whatever works for you, but find out what it is and do it every day. And finally, create healthy routines. Routines create a sense of predictability for ourselves and others around us. It brings that sense of calm because of the consistency it creates. Virtual schools are here to stay. I hope these tips have been helpful for you. If you ever want to contact me, you can find me over LinkedIn or email me any questions you have. Stay safe, stay positive, ever onward.